Here we have a 2023 Corvette Stingray Convertible. This one comes in the 3LT trim level in white pearl metallic tricoat, and then our interior consists of ceramic white with red stitching perforated leather interior. And the powertrain is going to be a 6.2 liter naturally aspirated V8 engine, made it to an 8-speed dual clutch automatic transmission, giving us 495 horsepower, 470 pound-feet of torque with the optional Z51 package. This car looks absolutely stunning in this white pearl metallic, and we do get LED headlamps along with LED daytime running lights. And just can't get enough of this look here. And this one has the forged 20-inch wheels. And this is also a 70th anniversary edition. We have our memory seat controls here, so to set that up, just set the seat, hit set, and then press one of these buttons, and then you have an entry exit mode as well. You get the Bose Performance Series sound system. And then we have our power mirror controls here, pick a side and then adjust these arrows, power folding mirrors, blind spot monitors in those. And then we have one-touch automatic up and down front windows, and then this knob here, or this lever here, excuse me, you press that down to lower the top, pull it up to raise the top, and then the same thing here with the power rear window. You can lower that and then raise it up by pulling the lever. And then power door lock controls are here. We can use this button to automatically open the door, or it's like a power function, and then you can use these two buttons down here to open the front trunk and then open the rear trunk. And then if you ever get stuck in the vehicle, you want to use the manual latch, you just pull up here if you don't have power to your car. And then the heads-up display controls are right there. You have a power tilt and telescoping steering wheel, and then you also have an electronic parking brake, so you just press to engage and then hit the brake, press it again to disengage. And then here is the power driver's seat with power lumbar support. I love that look there. Well, let's go ahead and pop that rear trunk, and I'll actually pop the front trunk as well, and we'll make our way to the back. We do have a fuel filler here. Premium is required for this, so you definitely want to use 91 octane or higher for a car like this. So there's a trunk space in there. We do get a little netted cargo tray as well. And I'd actually see in the engine bay, it's a bit of work to get back there with a convertible, but there's the rear end there with that Z51 exhaust. Incredible sound there. LED tail lights. Love the spoiler too. Now this does have quite a few add-ons, so I'm going to show you all the window sticker momentarily. But here's the front passenger seat. We get power as well as power lumbar support. And then open your glove box here, and then I'm going to take a quick look at this sticker, and y'all can pause anywhere you need to look more into anything. And I want to give a huge shout out to Chevrolet Buick GMC of Murfreesboro for allowing me to review this car today. And if you're in the market for one, I'll definitely leave a link below to this one in the description. It is bright out this morning, but sticker right at $106,855. So like I said, look at that, $22,310 in options. But yeah, this one was fully loaded. And this one still has the owner's manuals there as well. And there's the front trunk there if you want to put a small golf bag or something in there. There's the release. There's actually a 12-volt up here as well. And another cargo tray that's netted. And then over here, pretty much all you'll need to worry about is putting in your windshield wiper fluid. So I definitely don't recommend servicing this anywhere but a certified Corvette service shop. But let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat here. So we do get this nice sport flat bottom steering wheel, which you either love it or hate it, but I actually do like it for driving. Now over here, I believe this is an 8-inch screen. We get AM, FM, XM radio, along with Bluetooth audio. We have Spotify and Amazon Alexa as well, if you have those subscriptions. Then we also get wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. Navigation system here. You can type in recent. If you ever need fuel, you can pick what brand you like the best. I like to go to Shell or Exxon. So you can actually just scroll through here and it'll show you the closest stations and how far they are. And then we have a Wi-Fi hotspot. If you ever need to get in your vehicle settings, you can manage your connections for Bluetooth there where it says phones. And then over here in your apps, you can update all of that if you ever need to. And then you have your vehicle settings, so buckle to drive, so it'll make sure that you have your seatbelt on before it lets you put the car into gear. You can adjust ride height. You have teen driver with this as well, and a valet mode if you ever want to use that. And then we do have the performance data recorder here, so you hook up an SD card reader and then you can record your laps, track your times, all of that. And then we do get dual zone automatic climate control, so we can adjust either here, or you have all these buttons down here, and you have a readout over here. So it shows 74 degrees for the passenger, then we have it on low for the driver. You can adjust that here. And then you have 3-stage heated cooled seats. You can sync, have it set to auto, and then all of your fan directions, or where the airflow is coming from, you can adjust that here, and then fan speed here. And then you can actually cut the whole system off, AC, defrost. And then you have the heated cool buttons for the front passenger. So I can use the screen. I love using the screen. It's actually pretty easy to use, or you can use the buttons. It's just hard for me, unless you know where everything is, to use the buttons. It's just easier to use the screen. Now pulling up the backup camera here, you get a really nice high definition picture, and then you also have guidelines that follow you as you turn the steering wheel. And you also get a front camera as well. And I love this view because it allows you to make sure you're not about to curb the front. And then you have another zoomed in picture as well there. And just several different camera views that you can go through. Down here, traction control buttons. This is to adjust your ride height. So if you're about to hit a curb, you can hit that button and then it'll raise the front end to make sure that you don't hit that front splitter. And then we have the front camera toggle. You can just hit that there if you are. These are what you would use if you're about to pull into a parking lot or something like that. So I really like that. And then your drive modes, you just turn here and you might be able to hear it just ever so slightly, but as I go into sport and track mode, the exhaust gets louder. And then here in the tour mode and then the my mode, it's kind of dialed down. And you also have a weather mode as well. And it shows you in the bottom of that gauge cluster, which we'll come back to in a minute, what mode you're in. Now for the 8-speed, you have buttons and levers. So you hit P for park, pull up here for reverse, neutral's there, pull up for drive, manual mode's here, and that's where you can use these paddle shifters. Cup holders here, you can stow those. And then your center console cubby space, you have an SD card reader for the navigation, a USB-C, USB-A, and aux input. So it's nice to have an aux in this vehicle. And then we have a rear camera mirror, which we can toggle that on and off. And then over to the left side of the steering wheel, we have our cruise controls. And then the Z mode puts you into that mode that's set up there. So it's pretty sporty. I actually enjoy it. I'll use that on the test drive as well. And then you can toggle your radio station favorites or track list controls here. Sorry if the glare is not showing it, but it'll show you on the screen as well what you're doing. And then volume controls are here, so you can toggle that up and down below here. Now, interesting setup. They had to put room for the heated steering wheel somewhere, so they put it right here above the voice recognition controls. And then this serves as the mute button as well. And then you can use this and then these two arrows here to go through your digital gauge cluster. So you can go through all of that here. You got 0 to 60. You can time that. And then G-force, all of that too. Again, you can really get into this too in terms of customizing it for yourself. And then we have our headlamp controls here. There's your auto mode. High beams are there. You can flash them there. blinkers, and then you have your right side stalk here. So windshield wiper controls, you can adjust your intermittent here, and then you can pull up for the front wiper fluid, and then you can adjust. There's one time intermittent low and then high for your windshield wipers. And then the heads-up display is right in there. As I adjust the brightness, I'm gonna zoom in. So there's that, and you have different info pages as well. So it'll show you different views. And then here we have our push button start. And finally, here's our key fob with remote start. But now onto the fun part. Let's go ahead and take this 2023 Corvette Stingray Convertible out on the road for a quick test drive. So one thing I forgot to mention is the rear camera mirror is, the camera for that at least, is actually on the roof. So when you fold the top down, you're not gonna be able to use the rear camera mirror, but since I have it up now, I'm able to see that clear picture. And the braking in these are just incredible. And I'm gonna give it a bit of throttle here. We're just gonna keep it in second and redline it. So super quick, of course. You can crack sub 3 seconds 0 to 60s pretty easily. But I definitely don't want to get caught speeding in this, so we're gonna do 75. And a pretty comfortable ride, but I'm gonna dial it to tour mode. So everything's a lot less harsh. Suspension, somewhat smooth. Steering feels really good. But a lot of people don't like cylinder deactivation mode. As you can see here, I'm only on 4 cylinders cruising here. And I actually appreciate that personally. Now on this, the tires are a bit loud as I'm coming up this on-ramp here. On the interstate, it didn't seem as bad. But of course, this car is so low to the ground. But if you're driving one of these, that's really not gonna be a big deal for you. And for me personally, I would keep it in sport mode about 98% of the time, so I wouldn't hear the tires. I just hear that awesome exhaust that comes with the Z51 package. And I actually love the exterior looks that come with the 70th anniversary package. Everything looks, I mean, the C8 stock with nothing, I mean, a 1LT looks fantastic. So this just takes it up a notch, having all these extra bells and whistles here. But overall, I mean, this is, I love this car. I've driven several of them, and it just never gets old driving something with this much power. That is low 6 figures. Obviously, direct competitors are gonna be the Lamborghini Huracan, maybe even the Aventador, and then Ferrari's 458. You might be in the market for a 911 as well, if you're looking at one of these. But for me, this is just the best bang for your buck. It's kind of like the Chevy Bolt with EVs. The Corvette is an awesome vehicle, just a fantastic machine, but it's so much more inexpensive than the competition. And personally, I would take this over a Z06 just because you're saving so much money, and if you really want to tune one of these, you can, to make it just as good as a Z06. Of course, it won't be from the factory like that, but I would definitely get one of these loaded out as opposed to getting a Z06, because this is more than enough power. And unless you're tracking it and dogging it and you're an incredible driver, having a Z06 is really not gonna, you're not gonna get the full effect of that as opposed to getting one of these and saving you a bunch of money. And the tires aren't as wide, so I'm sure the ride in this is much better. I haven't driven a Z06 yet, but I've seen one, and I just feel like the ride's probably good, but it's probably not as good as this. especially with this one having the magnetic ride control, and just a great vehicle. I've had so much fun just driving this thing around the block. But if you can afford one and you want one, definitely get one. And this will bring me to the end of my review of the 2023 Corvette Stingray Convertible 3LT.